Hi, I'm Alan Zip around the valuation world, and I have a wonderful opportunity to interview Hubert Klein. Just sat in on his program on business divorce. And I'd like to just open it up and let him explain several of the things that he told us today in the session. The first I'd like to ask you is, what is a business divorce? What causes it? What results? And what can we as CPAs do to help our clients in a business divorce?
Well, Alan, thank you for the opportunity to have this discussion with you. And a business divorce is any time where there's two or more owners that own a business, whether it's a corporation, a partnership, a limited liability company, or even a joint venture between several individuals, in which there is a breakdown of their relationship that may result in potential litigation or a split up of the business entity. That can happen for a multitude of reasons. A lot of times the breakdown in the relationship can be based around broken personal relationships, bad business models, the business failing to make money or starting to lose money, disagreements between the shareholders or the owners of the business, how the business should operate. So usually it's some sort of breakdown. It starts from an emotional perspective on relationships, and it can ultimately wind up in the financial perspective where the business is losing money or they don't agree on the direction of the business.
Well, what remedies, what can they do about it?
There's a whole host of things they can do. The first one everybody thinks to rush to is rush to litigation. Let's file a lawsuit, let's fight. It's kind of like anything else in life though. The fight doesn't always resolve the problem. It doesn't fix the economic problem. It doesn't fix the business problem. And all that does is further strain the business and professional relationship that individuals have had.
What's the result of litigation generally?
Litigation's a wild card, I say. It's very unpredictable, right? Whether it's before a judge or a jury, you're leaving the fate of what may happen in someone else's hands. So someone is going to make the ultimate decision, and their remedies are limited. Two individuals trying to negotiate a resolution to a matter have a lot more in their deck of cards that they can put before each other to come to the resolution than a judge or a jury. Judge or jury renders a decision. I always like to say that the judge wields an axe. The judge can just chop in half. They can force a liquidation of the business. They can force a sale. May not be in the best interest of both parties, especially if one wanted to keep the business and they had ideas of handing it off to the next generation. Juries could be very unpredictable as well.
Are there alternatives?
There are alternatives. Some of them are that you can use what we call alternative dispute resolution methods, or the ADR, where people go to economic mediation, they can go to arbitration, they can even go into collaborative law aspect and have somebody help them work their way through the problems and decide, are we going to separate economically and dissolve the business or sell our shares or someone buy somebody out, or are we going to find a way to work together to continue the business?
Well, that helping idea, is that how the CPA can get involved? I mean, what can we do as practitioners?
Well, the traditional role, we were hired as a forensic experts to come in and do the valuation, and even though we're supposed to be doing our work with integrity and objectivity and unbiased, you get hired by two sides that are trying to beat each other up. But there's a new thing out there today where we can be hired more as the consultant to come in, what I call business marriage counseling, try to help and find a way for these parties to understand the issues that are driving them apart, see if there's a way for them to resolve them and move on and continue to own the business together. So that would probably entail helping them work through a myriad of things to put corporate governance or structural governance in place where there's more accountability, there's more communication, and a better understanding what the roles and responsibilities of each individual who's upset are.
Outstanding. So the CPA, the valuator, can act as maybe a dispute resolver, perhaps?
Yes, and for people who traditionally worked in the family law field, where a lot of them have done the economic mediation and family law disputes, which when you strip it away is really an economic issue. It's the same thing in a shareholder divorce. It's an economic issue, so you help them work through the financial issues, help them work through the corporate governance, what controls and procedures that can be put in place. You can work with counsel, and more, the courts and the judges are looking to the forensic accountant or the CPA or the valuator to help with those issues because they have an understanding of how businesses operate.
And on the other side of the coin, if we can't help them resolve it, then what do we do as experts in testifying?
Well, if we're involved in those consulting engagements, kind of where you've taken a position where you're working to help the parties, if you're still doing that in a true nonpartisan advocacy role, there may be opportunities to provide some services if they go to litigation. Obviously, they might want to hire you as a joint expert to value the business. and if it gets too contentious, you might have to actually step away at that point because each side's going to want their own respective expert.
And you're in New Jersey and use a fair value standard.
Yes, we're in New Jersey in fair value.
And so would the appraiser, would you as the appraiser then provide a fair value figure, a number for that?
If asked by the parties to do so, I would. And if I was asked for recommendations of other qualified experts to help the parties because I'd have to step away, I would do that as well.
So we've got a very broad role then, you're saying?
There's a lot of opportunity for members of the NACVA to participate in this world in the shareholder dispute in the litigation side as well as the consulting side.
I found your session enlightening. I truly did.
Well,
thank you
very
so much, Hubert.
Take care.